Hey guys, and welcome back to the doremicom channel. We are here with part 2 of episode 3 of season 2. Grimm's 40 Blazer was keeping us a little bit slow for the first part, so we decided to speed it up a little bit. And we're going to jump right now so we can get it going. Question number 4, on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being absolutely damaging, 10 being the best gateway to the original game. When looking at games that only use the intellectual property and move dramatically away from any notion of the original game, i.e. Fire Warrior Tau, third-person shooter, or upcoming Space Marine shooter, does this type of software help sales of the original game? And for that, we're going to jump to Jeremiah Drake.
Man, this is hard to answer. I'm just going to stay in the middle with a 5 because you could have like some really good games, but then you could have something like the monstrosity that was Fire Warrior, and that game was absolutely horrible. My impressions of the 40K were Fire Warrior, I would like, that game is trash. Yeah. I mean, it could go really good or really bad. I mean, the Space Marine shooter that I see, Space Marine coming out, it looks really good. But, man, that Fire Warrior was bad. That was real bad.
All right. Solid Smurf, you are up.
I would give it a 2 because what generational gaming, we're going to have a bunch of 13-year-olds that are like, yeah, Halo, it's so cool. And then they're going to go, oh, I have to roll dice and actually move. This is lame. And they're going to leave and go listen to Justin Bieber. So.
Wow. So if a game like Fire Warrior Tau came out, everyone would leave 40K, according to Smurf. Grims,
it's because.
I'm gonna give it a 5 exactly, and only because if it's a good game, I think people will check it out. If it's a bad game, people aren't going to check it out. And that's all there is to it.
You're so middle of the line.
So that's done.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and give my impression here. Again, with 5 or less being damaging to sales and 6 or above being positive, I'm going to actually give it a 7. Regardless of if it's a good or bad game, here the impact will not be negative because there's no connection to the core game. You will target a vastly different audience, and you will still draw in people from name recognition alone. People who are diehard fans of the core system are not going to care if Tau Fire Warrior comes out and not abandon the game. There's plenty of other reasons like codex escalation and all, bad pricing of models. The software title that actually has nothing to do with the core game, I think will actually draw more attention because, again, it hits a completely different target audience than ones that are closely related to the game itself. Guys, thoughts?
I never said it would hinder, so.
Well, you gave it a 2. One is that it actually
I never said it would help, though. I never said it would hinder.
So you're kind of changing your answer to be a 5.
No. It says, does this type of software help the sales of the original game? No. Does it hinder them? No. Does it promote them? No.
I'm sorry. You were correct. I accidentally changed the wording here because question 3 was that it was damaging. Question 4 was
right. There is no damaging here.
Oh man. So,
apology.
Trump card. But we don't make mistakes here at the RTD, and we really meant that 1 is damaging. Smurf, would you like to change your answer?
Yes, I will change it to a 9.
Really?
And 13-year-olds still listen to Justin Bieber.
All right. Okay, we're going to move on to question number 5 now. What about the hobbyists? On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being not at all and 10 being completely catered to, do video games provide the hobbyists with a digital release? And for this, we're going to start with Solid Smurf.
I'm going to give it about a 3 because, you have your army painter, but you can't be like, I want to put this super awesome shoulder pad on my dude, or I want to cut off his leg and give him a peg leg. It provides a little bit, but not enough to keep your kit basher happy.
Okay, Grims, you're up.
I gave it a 10 because when you look at video games, when you get to see other people's ideas, and I think for hobbyists, it's all about inspiration. And you see the environments that they create and everything else. So that's why I gave it a huge number, because it just gives them ideas to go back and do other things.
We will definitely be adding another question after we get Jeremiah's answer. Go ahead, Jeremiah. Jump in there.
I don't know. I have to say one. The hobbyist really isn't looking for. I mean, to me, if you're a hobbyist, what you're looking for is to, paint and build and be creative. I can understand the part where Grimm's Blazer is talking about where you're getting inspiration, but I don't think that it really is going to make a difference for them. I just don't find it. I don't know.
Okay.
I give it a one. One. That's my final answer.
All right. Good.
One.
I'm actually going to say I'm going to agree with Smurf. I think it's a 3. It's not really geared for hobbyists, but they do carve out a small niche with configurable soldiers and arm and mods, much like Smurf was talking about with Army Painter. But I think that alone would only give it a 2. I think it jumps to a little bit of a 3 when you actually have hobbyists who are also programmers, right? Because nothing like downloading a modification to a game and watching the complete creativity that Grimm's 40 Players was talking about being literally rewriting a game through engines like, even looking at this very aggressive 40K modification that a bunch of people are trying to do to Left 4 Dead. And I think that's where you're going to see someone who has the mindset of a hobbyist of really getting in there, configuring and tweaking to make their stamp on the world. And, let's open it up for any continued debate here.
I got to ask, what are they doing with the Left 4 Dead? I've got Left 4 Dead. I haven't never heard of this 40K mods. What do you got here?
You got to go out. Well,
back.
They're not done with it yet, and I don't know if they're ever going to configure it, but they start off with the idea of utilizing Tyranids as the zombies and using Space Marines as your survivors. And they changed it because the way that Left 4 Dead models the zombies didn't match the way that the people who were actually really kind of dedicated to the core notion of 40K thought Tyranids would move. So they're kind of changing it so that it's zombie Imperial Guard versus Space Marines.
Yeah, so it's like a Nurgle thing.
It could be. It could be classified as that. And Grimms, I gotta ask a follow-on question here. 10. How'd you get to? Throw me some examples of how you got to 10.
Man, when I think about like me personally, like when I'm doing hobby stuff, I want to be creative. If I go on a video game, and it doesn't have to be the greatest video game, but all I'm looking for is something to spark my creativity and visuals. So when I play Dawn of War and I look at the buildings that they have, I think, oh man, I want to recreate that, or I want to recreate that city, or I just want to go back and start building. It spurs my hobby side more than it just as a release for the video game. It just makes me want to do my hobby more. That's why I give it a 10.
All right, now I get it. It's not the software itself, as in hobbyists enjoying the software, so much as the hobbyists using the software as a palette to come up with ideas to bring back to the tabletop experience. And that is a really great answer, and now I understand why you gave it a 10. I really, really do. I've seen a lot of huge high five. I've seen a lot of really impressive modifications of, for instance, people making dreadnoughts that look like what are those robots from BioShock? The Big Daddies.
Oh, Big Daddies.
Stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, really, really, really impressive creativity going on there. So, okay, I totally get that now. Totally understand the 10. I had to ask, though. Okay, guys, we're actually going to introduce something new here, and I'm not going to zoom in on people. This is going to be the lightning round, the speed round. There's going to be a couple questions. We don't want your explanation why. We just want you to give us an answer, okay? And we're going to start with, let's see, we're going to do, for all the questions.
Not me, I'm not ready.
All right.
I gotta read these.
Anyways, we're only going to ask one question at a time, and then get all their answers, including mine, and then we'll do it again. Okay, here we go. So, question number 1. What single video game title would you suggest to someone who enjoys unplugged tabletop games? Jeremiah.
People might think I'm crazy, but I like Blood Bowl. I say check out Blood Bowl.
All right, Solid Smurf, your answer.
The first Dawn of War, the original.
Grimm's 40 Blazer.
First Dawn of War.
All right, and my answer would be the first Dawn of War. Secondly, coming up with War Machine Vassal, which is still supported. What single video game would you suggest to someone who enjoys unplugged role-playing games? And this will start off with Grimm's 40 Blazer.
Dragon Age Origins.
Oh, fantastic game. Solid Smurf.
Diablo?
All right, Jeremiah Drigg.
Dude, I say Fallout.
All right.
Ooh, Fallout's good.
And I'm actually going to say the original Neverwinter Nights. Nothing seems to come closer to the true 3.5 D&D experience. Number 3, for video games that are based on tabletop games or RPGs, what game should be avoided like the plague? Even your worst enemy, you wouldn't tell them to play it. Solid Smurf, you go first.
Skip? Back to me. I'm thinking.
That's horrible. Grims. You fail in the lightning round.
Jeremiah, Blood Bowl. Oh, Jeremiah can kill me. Blood Bowl. I'm telling you.
Fine.
Jeremiah Drigg.
Man, I'm just. I gave you my answer earlier. Fire Warrior. That game is absolutely horrible, dude.
Okay.
Do not pick that up.
Smurf, quickly.
I'm going to go with the original Mark of Chaos, the fantasy game that they first came out with. Ugh.
All right. My answer is Barbie's Horse Adventure. Absolutely should be avoided by anyone who's interested in tabletop games or role-playing games. But if it's really in the vein of actual games that are like it, I would say War Machine Battle March. I felt like I was fighting that game from the poor controls and responsiveness. All right. Question number 6. Make a prediction, no matter how outlandish, about the future of video game translations of role-playing games, tabletop games, and included board games, if you'd like, Blood Bowl being a pretty good example. And for this, we're going to start with Solid Smurf.
I think that we're going to see an increase in what they're doing with video games merging with the tabletop game, with like the Kinect coming out and the Wii motion control and stuff like that. We are on our way to be able to just drag and drop without even actual having pieces in front of us. I think with that technology, we're moving towards a better experience.
All right, Grims, you're up, man. Give us your prediction.
Piggybacking on Smurf, I think it's going to be like that card game with them PlayStation, with the PlayStation Eye. Soon our Warhammer 40K models are going to have a little chip in it. We're just be able to put it down and play somebody on the other side of the world.
That would be awesome. Jeremiah, your turn.
Oh man, I don't know. I'd like to see something like Counter-Strike Source or something with a Space Marine mod, so you can slap something on there so you could play a Space Marine. Something where you could like do a whole war of like a team of Space Marines of another team of Space Marines and play it out like your first person shooter style. That'd be awesome.
All right. Instead of Op 4, you would have Chaos.
I would opt for, I guess, Chaos, whatever. If that would make you happy.
There is no debate.
I am happy. That's what's important.
All right. I'm actually going to say that the quickness of innovation that occurs with video games will continue to grow at such a rapid pace that you're going to see it outpace the tabletop experience to the point that your tabletoppers are going to be craving the online experience more. And that's my prediction. So, guys, thank you very much for coming to Season 2, Episode 3, Finding the Digital Hobby Game. And, yeah, that's it for this episode. Thanks, guys.